What's up, everybody? AJ Allmendinger here. So what we were doing, we're going to do a Q&A. This is definitely the most fun season I've ever had in NASCAR for sure. I'd say the only thing that's come close to it is my final year in Champ Car in 2006. I switched teams and won 5 out of 9 races with that team, and everything kind of flowed. But for sure on the NASCAR side of it, being a part of Collard Racing, Matt Collard, Chris Rice, I mean, that was the rule when we started this deal full time, was I was not allowed to go back to old AJ, where it didn't become fun. Now let's be honest, when you have a shot to win races every weekend, that does make it a little bit more fun. But outside the race car generally, all the men and women here at Collard Racing, and it starts with Matt and trickle effect from Chris on down through the shop, we enjoy it, we have fun. Yes, there are the pressure of the playoffs, but it's no different than every other race that I race because I put the most pressure on myself. But the bigger deal is once we get over the race, good or bad, once we stop, that's it. We have fun, we let that go, and we enjoy just doing this, because there's no reason to do this unless you're having fun. I mean, it's racing cars. We're not saving lives here, so we got to enjoy it. So it was kind of a easy choice, really, because my dad raced before I was ever born. Just local stuff. Growing up in California, it was one of those things that, that's all I knew. I watched racing on TV. I watched my dad race. We would go to races when my dad wasn't racing, all forms of racing. So I was named after AJ Foyt, and so it was kind of my destiny to try to be a race car driver. I quickly learned as a younger person, I hated manual labor. So anything that I actually had to do that strained my body, not racing, I did not like. And it was just all I ever knew. I really enjoy other sports, but racing was the only thing I ever wanted to do, and that was something that I just kind of put my mind to, and never really let anything else kind of creep into my mind of, okay, if this doesn't work, I need to go do this, because I always expected it to happen. And very fortunate that I've had so many opportunities in my life to drive different types of race cars. That's a good question, Norman. It definitely takes the right person to be, dating or be married to understand this life, especially NASCAR-wise, because we race so much throughout the course of the year. I mean, ultimately, we're at a racetrack 40 weekends a year, and it's a different lifestyle. So, yeah, I mean, you got to find the right person. I wouldn't say you got to sacrifice anything. We're very fortunate that I would say the crew people and our media people that have to travel, it's probably a lot tougher on them because, as drivers, a lot of the times we'll bring a bus and you can bring friends and family, things like that. So they probably have to make more sacrifice than we do. We're fortunate enough that if we want a bus there, that we can have one. But overall, you get the right person with you. They enjoy it. At times, it's it's tough on them because unfortunately, I would say most drivers bring home their issues from the racetrack, and we don't forget it very well, and we kind of let it take over our life. So it definitely takes the right person to have the understanding of, okay, we just got to ride through it with them. But you find that right person, there's no sacrifices. It's just it's what our lives are. Being a race car driver is all I ever wanted to do. I wouldn't say, especially if you know what my background is, it didn't have to be specifically NASCAR. I just wanted to race something full time. I grew up initially through karting and running in Champ Car, racing Indy cars. I've been fortunate enough to race sports cars, win the Rolex 24-hour race. So I've been very lucky to drive different series and be a part of all that. NASCAR was just the direction that my life took me in 2007, and kind of where I've been since then. But yeah, racing wise, it's all I've ever wanted to do. I've never really thought of anything else besides that, and kind of had to make it work. That's what I focused on as a kid, and even in school, that was I knew what I wanted to be, and I tried to basically take the classes and the things that I knew was going to be important for that job interest that I have, and just really focused on that. So it was no options besides racing. Yeah, Sherry, that's a good question. If I wasn't racing, I would probably be a broadcaster, because that was something that when I thought I was retiring or semi-retiring at the end of 2018, I was very fortunate to sign with NBC Sports and broadcast and be an analyst for different motorsports. 2019 was such a fun year because I got to go to NASCAR races, IndyCar races, broadcast all the sports car races, the IMSA races, got to do a Supercross race. So I really enjoyed the broadcasting side of it, especially getting to go do different series. And my passion has always been motorsports. I think I'm a bigger fan than I am a race car driver sometimes. So that's something that I was very fortunate that I think if I'm not a race car driver, I can fall back on, or at least know that that's something that I want to do and truly would enjoy doing. Lesson that I've learned from NASCAR is you cannot give up. Like, you really can't. Like, that's something that through all the ups and downs, this sport, like the motorsports in general, are tough. NASCAR in its own right can really take it to another level, because really at the end of the day, there's no guarantee of winning. Like, you can do everything that you want to do in life, work as hard as you can, put 100% effort into it, and there's no ever guarantee that you're going to win. And to me, it's not like any other sport. I think the worst basketball record ever is 9-73. It's a pretty bad record, but they at least won 9 times. Baseball, I think the worst record's like 50 and 110 or 112. Well, they won 50 times. Like, so point of the thing is in NFL they've had a couple of teams go winless, but you know what? The next year they win. So we just don't know if you're ever going to win in this sport, no matter how hard of effort you put into it. So I think having that mentality to never give up is the biggest deal, and that's what I tell people in life. Like, no matter what you're told, good or bad, you cannot give up. If you have your passion, you have your dream set forth, you just can't give up on it, because if you give up, then you can guarantee you'll never win. So that's the biggest deal. Well, everybody, thank you for the question. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, please subscribe, and we'll do a lot more of this. Let's do that. We'll make that deal. Thank you.